Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, pick Guardian.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We're thrilled to death you're listening to our show that we love so very much. We've got a banger of a guest again.
Bang!
This is almost a return to the date.
Almost.
You say, Tony.
Yes. If for those who are interested in history, if you go back to episode number 369.
Don't tell who it is. Just go there. Go ahead. Who are you?
Me. I'm Barton McGuire from Cosmodio Instruments.
There you go.
Yeah.
Round
I'm back.
two.
Home of the Pet Yeti.
Yes. And
That's right.
many
others.
All sorts of strange creatures now roaming around.
There's a lot happening in 2 years.
Yes. No, it's wild.
But anyhow, episode number 369, Barton's first appearance on the podcast. That was in May of 2024.
Yeah.
Almost to the date that we're recording
this. 472, I believe.
472?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Coming up on 500, guys.
That is
Yes.
correct.
Well,
Yeah.
we got a big
This is a big
thing.
year.
Big thing. 10th anniversary and 500th episode.
Yeah, and closing in on
Congrats.
just about 1 million downloads. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, those all sorts of milestones. That's great.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's just fortuitous.
Yeah.
Todd does nothing
Yes.
but download the episodes.
Yes. It's
24/7. Download.
Tony, our bonus
Download.
checks are going to be amazing.
Download. We might get 50 cents, you mean?
Yes. Yeah.
What? Crazy
Anyhow,
talk.
we are going to have a great time talking with Barton. Cosmodio Instruments is one of the most imaginative and, dare we say, fun brands out there making pedals. And we can't wait to talk about the new things that he's been cooking up. Where can people go check your stuff out before we get rolling?
Yeah, you can find us. We're not hard to find. We have a website, cosmo.io, and we're on Instagram at Cosmodio Instruments and YouTube and all the things. You can find us in a lot of retailers now. That's something that's different, very different
wow.
from the 2 years ago when I was talking to you guys with a brand new fledgling pedal company. So now you can go to the retailers page on that website I mentioned and hopefully find a store near you to try out our stuff in person. It's still a modest network of stores, but we're growing it all the time. And yeah, that's another way you can find us.
Outstanding. Well, why don't we get into, we have a couple of announcements that we got to cover, and then we'll discuss what's going on in our music world this week. All right. Tony, any announcements from your end of the table?
I do not have any.
Okay, that's great.
Then.
Well, we have got a big one right now.
What?
Let's announce another winner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
For our 10th anniversary extravaganza.
Yes.
This is pedal number... Well, it doesn't really matter. The next one is, I think it's 4. No, it's 5. Wait,
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Something like that.
Yes.
I could pull it up, and by the time I pulled it up, I would have stopped talking, but let's just do it.
Yes.
Tony, what is in this box?
In that box is the Fuzzocalypse
By whom?
by M2 Labs.
That is correct, sir.
And would you like to know what it does?
Tell me, please.
It's an analog chaos injector.
Ooh. Now, this is, in fact, it's giveaway number 5. I'm not going to say it's pedal number 5, but
Yes.
this is going to...
James Pennington!
Wow, you just busted the UV
I
meter.
broke the internet.
The VU meter, not the UV meter. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, congrats, James. This is a big, nasty fuzz, and it's aptly named, and it's heading your way
Yes.
to bonk you on the head and make you rock. So thank you so much to M2 Labs, a great friend of the show. They are up to great things, and this is one of them.
Jonathan L.A. Body.
Yep, LA Body. All right. With nothing else other than more things to come, everybody.
Beat that.
Let's get on what's going on in our music world this week. Tony. And then we'll check in with our friend Barton.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tony.
I learned something today. Now, I had some chrome pickup covers that I wanted to become nickel pickup covers.
Oh.
I needed nickel. And interestingly, in my brief but thorough internet searches, in the plating process, in order to chrome plate something, the piece has to be nickel plated first.
Right.
So it's a very thick layer of nickel plating, followed by a very thin plating of chromium.
Yeah.
Thus giving it that bluish.
That's why it looks kind of yellow if it flakes off underneath.
Exactly. So what I found is if you
Baking soda.
No.
Vinegar.
Oh, worse than that.
Ooh.
If you take a little trip down to your local hardware store and you buy a gallon of muriatic acid,
Oh my gosh.
which is also hydrochloric acid,
Ooh.
but they use it to etch concrete and for swimming pools and things like that. You put it in a glass bowl. You dump your cover in for
Is that
about
expensive? It sounds expensive.
It's like $10 a gallon. I mean,
okay.
it's not bad. You could buy. I think you can buy quarts too, but I just got a gallon because that's what they had. And put it in for about 30 seconds. It starts to bubble a little bit.
Yep.
You take it out. Now, also, when you're buying this stuff, there's usually nitrile gloves.
Big giant gloves.
Yeah. Well, you don't
elbow
need,
length ones.
Well, I use the shorties.
Like the
'cause-
professor in Bugs Bunny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But different. You take it out, you rinse it off, you wipe it dry, and it goes from chrome, I'm throwing them at
Okay.
Todd, to nickel.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
That is amazing. Wow. I wonder if that would work on my locking tuners that I accidentally got chrome instead of nickel.
You'd have to take them apart.
Yeah.
I don't know that would work as well. I mean,
No.
the
these
covers
are
were
just-
already off.
These are just, beat up old
Yeah, if
covers.
something is has some mechanical function there, I wonder if how thick is the layer of chromium?
It's only like 2 or 3 microns, so it's
Okay,
very,
so then-
very thin.
Oh, that's cool. So what'd you do with all that horrible hazardous stuff?
Oh, I drank it.
It tastes like Monster White.
It's great stuff. So that was one thing.
No, it doesn't. Please
No,
don't.
do not take my advice.
It does. So
Do not take.
to green, but I'll do the white.
No, there are a number of ways you can dispose of it, and with a small quantity, it's okay to put it in the drain, but you have to follow it up with a lot of water.
That just gave me the shivers.
Shiver me
Yeah.
timbers.
Okay. Wow. That's
It's not that big a
interesting.
deal.
No, it isn't.
Secondly, I
Okay.
finally got my copy of Gallagher's Guitars by friend of the show, Julien Baton,
Yeah.
and photography by Eleanor Jane.
Yeah. Those photos look amazing.
It's a beautiful book. And,
Okay. For those who don't know who Rory Gallagher is,
Irish guitar player, kind of the guitar player's guitar
that's
player.
pretty racist.
Right? What? What?
It's completely not.
So he's most famous for having a it's a 60s Strat, 61 maybe, 61 or 62, that most of the finish is almost completely worn off of. And there's a lot of focus in this book on that as well. But it also covers some of the other guitars that he played. It's a couple of Tellys, some acoustic guitars, different things like that. It's a really cool book, and Julien does such a good job with the text and the research. I mean, you can tell he really dug into this. So it's out there. I got mine. There was a special coupon on Amazon. So I snagged that up real quick. It's not a cheap book, but it is. It comes in a nice slipcover, beautiful. So Julien, good job, another fine addition to my guitar book collection.
Wow. He's one of the few people that, despite not being in a bunch of bands that really did awesome.
Yeah.
Still managed to make a name for himself.
Yeah, and like I said, he's the guitar player's guitar player. I mean, that's a lot of people cite him as a influence. The foreword of this book is written by Johnny Marr. which is kind of cool. And, yeah, something like that. That's what's going on in my music world this week. Barton, what's going on in yours?
Always things going on. I've been going on this journey for a while now, where this is a story of adversity, guys. Where the only place in my house that's set up to that can be reasonably dedicated to my guitar, amp rig situation is just like right where the mains power enters the house, and like the main circuit breakers at 240 volts or whatever is like 3 feet away from where I'm playing guitar. And just the entire time I've lived there, I've been finding like different creative ways to reduce hum. And it's kind of good. I mean, here at the Cosmodio workshop, I have a nice clean environment to play. So I'm not like completely in the wilderness, but it'd be nice to play without a lot of noise at home. And so because of that, like it keeps me really, really honest, which is probably good diligence for someone working on music gear, where, all of my cabling, all of the shielding on everything needs to be like really, really tight. I've had to sort of move away from conventional. I'm a single coil guy in terms of my pickup preferences generally, with some exceptions. But I've had to sort of move towards a lot of like split coil or split blade style single coils that will buck hum. I, moved to a lot of like Lindy Fralin split pickups that I think sound really, really great. Yeah. And so just for the past like couple of years has been this odyssey of like really trying to get things clean. And I've made so much progress, but it's just worn on me over time. And so my understanding now is like, there's no more electrical problems. It's only the magnetic field, and that shielding from magnetism is considerably more challenging than shielding like electronic interference.
Can I suggest a Faraday?
Well, that's kind
cage?
of why it's. Well, so this is part of the reason I bring it up is because I was curious to see if you guys would have any specific suggestions. I'm looking at like lace sensor pickups. I've never tried them. I don't fully understand what makes them different, but my understanding is that it's some basically different technology. I don't know if there's like completely different pickups with different transductive mechanisms, but no, I am straight up trying to imagine in my head how I am going to just install like an entire wall of sheet metal against that wall and create a Faraday cage for myself. I'm not kidding. Like that's what I'm planning and like sketching out right now.
Wow.
Because I mean, it won't be like the whole room. I think there's just, the reason, and this is so interesting, well, at least it's interesting to me, and I'm obviously a special kind of nerd, but like, but I know that it's this very specific source, because if I angle the guitar in the exact right angle, then the coils are sort of equidistant, the humbucking coils will be equidistant from the source and like perfectly in phase, and it will be perfectly silent and it will sound beautiful. And if I turn even like 5 degrees, like even just the slightest amount, then it just comes back in, and it drives me crazy. So no, I'm like this weekend, I'm like heading to the hardware store and I'm going to get some sheet metal. I'm going to move it around and see if I can like create a much more robust shield, for lack of any better ideas. So anyway, yeah,
I think
would love any suggestions.
I think that's probably going to be your best bet, and because it obviously there is some interference, electrical interference. I mean, when you turn 90 degrees and it goes away, that's a pretty good indicator of that. So if we have any electricians out there listening,
yes, get a hold of Cosmodio.
Yeah, let us know what to do.
I mean, it's frustrating because I like to think that we know a thing or two about electronics here as well, but on all the conventional tricks, they've just bested me. So it is just like, I don't know, it's just a different beast. Well, but the thing that's really nice then is like now anywhere I take my rig, all of my pickups, all of my shielding, all of my cabling, everything else, the power supplies, everything is super clean because it's all been tuned in this really, really noisy environment. So then every time I go anywhere else, it's just like, absolutely silent and really, really well tuned. So that's the good side of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting problem to have, and you can't move further there. That's the only space that you have. That's
the solution. Is I just go home and I tell my wife we're moving. Pack your bags.
Well, that's a possibility, or you can just go to the other side of the room, maybe.
I know. Well, it's a very small room. There's it's maybe I just have to go to a different place. Right now, we'd have to move things around, and maybe that's the answer. But yeah.
Tricky business.
Yeah, it is tricky business. So that's one of the things I'm dealing with in my music playing life, at least.
Well, keep us posted if the metal enclosure works. Maybe that.
I think it would make for some pretty good social media content if I can get that working. So I'll keep you posted.
And wear a tinfoil hat too. That will help.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I have literally been doing tinfoil experiments to see if just like covering things, and I feel like I'm this like insane person who's like running around my house and grabbing aluminum foil and holding it up in different locations. And like the people, my family is worried about me and like, what am I doing? And I'm just like muttering to myself about the noises that I hear.
Make them stop.
Yeah, exactly. So
anything with a battery stays outside.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What about you, Todd? What's going on in your musical world this week?
Well, Tony, I had some fun with my pal Chase. We talked about these these knot ricks that we got off of Amazon for like no money,
$100,
yeah,
ish.
And I was sitting there looking at it the whole time, and Tony was basically saying, "You're not going to be happy with this unless you get the black one." Now, I'm not into. I've said this before. I don't just throw my. I got a family. I got responsibilities, so I can't be just like, I'm just going to buy this. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy this. But I did because it was like it's $100, and what I decided to do with the other one, I think will be very nice.
Yeah,
it's going to a good cause. Now. The problem is that it's matte. That's the whole reason I didn't get it in the first place.
Is that its name, Matt?
Yeah. I was looking for one called Steve, and it just didn't. I couldn't find that. They were all sold out.
No, it's Matte Black.
Yes, it's Matte Black, and so
Jack Black's brother.
Yes. It's not shiny. That's what we're trying to say. And I'm not particularly a fan of that. So I showed Chase. I was like, hey, look what I got for basically peanuts. And he said, oh, you don't look like you're super happy about it. I'm like, well, it's matte black. He goes, well, let's just buff it out. And I was like, oh, okay, buddy. So we started to do that. And the whole premise was that while he was working, I was going to buff it out. But Chase, knowing that probably would have taken me about 10 hours to do, and potentially would have sent the guitar flying across the room because I would have caught an edge or something like that, or knocked my teeth out again. He just said, yeah, I'll do it. But we had a great time. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff, and we got it. It looks burnished, I would say. It's kind of nice. It's not a full gloss.
It's not super glossy.
But I like that burnished look. I like the like a worn
piano,
like a worn piano seat. Yes, kind of like. Yeah. Anyway,
what were you going to say, Todd?
Nothing. So I'm very excited about that. And Tony just showed up with a bunch of gold sparkle plastic.
Yep. Yes. I made you a gold glitter top guard as well as a clear one. So when you come to, I made them both.
When you come to
your senses.
Yeah. Anyways, great fun. So I'll post some pictures of that when I'm finished.
You do that.
I will. Okie dokie. That's what we got right now.
Cool.
Yes. So why don't we? Hey, you know what? If you got to stitch a bunch of pedals together and you're not like. You don't have the things. What you need to do is get some tour gear designs patch cables.
That's correct.
Yes, y'all. You need these for your pedal board. Your pedal board wants these. You may not know it yet, but you will be satisfying a pedal board's greatest urge. It's their vice. It needs it. You can get all kinds of lengths, all kinds of orientations.
Yes.
Well, specifically two. C shape or S shape.
Yes.
What do you need the S shape for, Tony?
If you're going to the side to the top.
Right. Or from the top to the side.
Or the top to the side.
Either one will work.
But if you're going from the top to the top?
Then you just get the little C-shape one.
Oh,
they
that's
have 3
perfect.
inch. Yeah, they got all the inches.
all the
It's great.
sizes.
So go load your cart up.
Load it up.
You're not going to be sorry.
No.
Hit purchase. And then when you do, you're going to get a little prompt that says, "Are you sure you wouldn't like to enter a coupon code?" At which point you will say, "Well, thank you for asking, computer." What do you put in?
You put the guitar knobs, all lowercase, all one word.
All right. You're going to save 15% on your order.
15%, you say?
And that goes a long way in today's monies.
Yes.
So, thank you to Tour Gear for sponsoring our 4 on the floor.
Let me get a little bit of this.
1, 2, 3. 4 on the floor. All right. Barton McGuire from Cosmodio Instruments. What is your
That's me.
4 on the floor? V2.
Yeah, I got 4 good ones here. So the first one, I have the Chambers C1. It's a reverb pedal. I actually have a couple reverb pedals here, but it's the first pedal from a Massachusetts-based company local to us called Reflective Digital. And it's just like this it's an incredibly gorgeous, really just finely tuned room reverb that I think is loosely inspired by some of the work of Alvin Lucier. And Max, the guy who builds these pedals, has become a friend. He was just here today teaching me things about reverb algorithms as I try to learn this sort of dark art. But he's just an expert in this stuff and he's made this reverb, and he's got other things in the work too that I'm getting glimpses into that are just beautiful. So yeah, Chambers C1, I think it's the first of what I hope will be a lot of really incredible reverbs from Reflective and perhaps other things too. And it's distinct because, I don't know, it's like the complete opposite sort of design approach from the stuff I do and from Cosmodio, which is like really we do a lot of like really gnarly, harebrained, sort of like freaky deaky concepts. And Max just has this design sensibility that's like it's not restrained. It's incredibly ambitious, but it's very precise. And so, yeah, this is like this just really, really gorgeous. It should basically be like a rack mount studio unit, but it just happens to be a guitar pedal. So yeah, if someone wants to try a reverb and is dissatisfied with what they have, and they're looking for something that's just like a really big room that sounds just perfect, you got to check it out. It's really cool.
All right. I love a new one, and I'm going to text him and get him on the show.
Yeah, you should. He's a really interesting guy.
That
with his own
usually
approach.
means that there's something he's a really interesting asterisk.
No, I just mean like there's a certain type of person. I don't know. Like
that's 2 asterisks.
Guitar pedal designers, at least the ones that I know, it's hard not to be sort of an interesting person. And I just key in so much into like learning about people and learning how they build things. And everyone's so different, and everyone's personality gets expressed through the things that they make.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So no, he's a great guy. You'd have a blast.
Very
talking to him.
cool.
Very
Excellent.
smart. Yeah. Next one up is another reverb, and I've just been really enamored with both of these. This one is also one of my favorite pedal names that I've heard, but based out of Baltimore, there's the Baltimore Sonic Research Institute, and they have a reverb pedal called Soft Rains and the Smell of the Ground.
Oh my
That
goodness.
is the name of it. And
hold on. I'm trying to catch up here. Soft Rains of the Ground?
Soft Rains and the Smell of the Ground.
Smell of the Ground. Wow, that sounds like a new neo emo band, a Midwest emo band.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. So I met these guys at Woodwire Vaults down in Anaheim in January.
Yeah.
And just
we've had them on the show way back when.
Yeah, it was the first time that I had heard of them and met them, but they had a bunch of pedals that were really, really speaking to me. But this one particularly so. Like I said, it's also a reverb. This one is it's a belt and brick reverb, which, is it's a device that, going back, a lot of people have used to make sort of relatively simple and sort of cost-effective reverb pedals, and are sort of built to be integrated rather simply into a guitar pedal circuit. But they have a very specific and special sound, belt and brick reverbs, and a lot of people, including me, really, really like them. And I think this is the best sort of belt and brick reverb that I've ever heard. It's just really, I think they took what is often just like a very sort of simple foundational reverb sound, and they've built a very special and powerful circuit around it. So you can have it gets really, really, really spacey and drony if you wanted to. It has a really fun dynamic sort of like feedback sweller switch. And yeah, it's just really cool. It's just one of those things where I just find that I'm using it all the time. It just does the thing. Unlike the Chambers, it couldn't be more different. Like, it's not modeled to sound specifically like anything. It just sort of is what it is. And it's a little dirty, and it's a little kind of like raw and rough around the edges, but in a way that's just musical. And then, awesome. It's much less sort of that like studio reverb, and much more this thing that like you just plug into an amp and you start playing, and it's just like, yeah, that's the sound. So really, really rad.
Very
Third
cool.
pedal I have is the latest. I think it's the latest one. He's coming out with stuff all the time, though, and I wish I could keep up. But it's the Spritz Saturator and Compressor from Super Cool Pedals.
Yeah. That's a great little pedal.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's a nice compressor because, compression is one of those things where I think it confounds some people because it can be very subtle, and sometimes it's sort of like, is this thing on? Like, this is supposed to make me sound better? This one, it's unmistakable when it's on, but it's not. I think it like walks this line that it's quite strong compression, but it doesn't feel choked. Sometimes when I have a lot of compression on a guitar signal or on anything, it can make me feel almost claustrophobic, like if you feel like the air is getting sucked out of the room. Yeah. But I think Jamie he's just got the attack tuned correctly on this, or whatever that sort of attack release cadence is, so that the compression is like really strong. It sounds quite bold, but it doesn't feel like it's zapping anything, and you still sort of feel like you have your spacious guitar signal. So yeah, so that's the best. And
he does an awesome job with his whole design and his theme and his marketing and his just, he's a very personable guy.
Jamie's the best. And he's become a good friend, and he's like the most detail oriented person that I know. And it's every pedal, it's like a whole experience. And he like, the quality of the build, if you open up his pedals, just like there's like hidden Easter eggs and fun little things to discover on the inside. Mm-hmm. And every bit of the build is just like really, really immaculate and really carefully constructed, and all really creative and colorful. And it's the whole thing just like oozes with personality. It's really cool. Yeah. And so that's been great. So that's been on my board ever since I got it just a couple weeks ago, because it's just came out.
Yeah. And if you own the 77 muff that he does, if you open that one up, there's an inappropriate picture of Tony in that.
Is there?
Yeah.
How is it inappropriate?
Anyway, I don't know.
There is on that pedal. I have one of those. It's sitting over there on the shelf. There is a hidden person. There is. It's not inside. It's on the outside of the pedal. But it's like Jamie does these things where the only thing I can have the analogy too is like secret tracks on records. Remember when like albums used to have secret tracks where if you like really delved into it and you listened past like the 15 minutes of silence, then you'd find something new. There's like special surprises for the people who like pay attention and really dig through it with a fine grained comb. So yeah, no, there really is like a hidden character in the 77 Fuzz Blender.
Okay.
Go find them, guys.
We're all going to look.
Find them.
We're all going to look.
Yeah. And my fourth pedal is, this one's like brand new. Probably the first time most of y'all will have heard of this company. But we just were at an event last weekend at Fuzzy's Guitars down near Providence, Rhode Island. Mm-hmm. And there was a guy there named Ethan, and he has a new pedal company called Gold Stomp Works. And it was interesting because I was just talking with Mark Turley from summer school, who was there earlier that day. He has a new pedal called the Fuzz 101, and it has a bias knob. And I was saying, like, that's the most important and expressive knob on a fuzz. I would love to see someone build a fuzz, like a fuzz face, where just like, come on, we don't need the fuzz knob. It's dimed, just like a hard code fuzz knob dimed. Give me a bias knob and that's it. And then I guess a volume control. And then I turn around and there's this guy setting up shop, and he has like multiple instances of like fuzz knobs where it's just a big bias control and a little volume knob. And they sound really, really good. So I've got this one. I actually don't know how to say it. It's like the Scylla, Scylla, fuzz. And it's and the build quality of these things is really cool with these like laser etched enclosures. And it's just like a really rad, really kind of aggressive fuzz face, where you have like this really excellent control over bias, and you can turn it into all sorts of different voices and all sorts of different sounds just with that one control. And then you've got volume, and that's all you need in the world. He also had another pedal that I came away with that I'll mention too, just because it was called Dr. Puffelstein's Monster, it's a CMOS style overdrive, which is sort of like the EHX Hot Tubes or the Red Llama, which is a type of circuit. It was the very first pedal I had ever tried building, was like built around this type of CMOS overdrive. But he named Dr. Puffelstein after his cat, which was just perfect to me because I don't know if I talked about this last time, but my company Cosmodio is named after my cat Cosmo. Yep. So every time there's cat named things, then that speaks to me. So I think I sort of snuck a fifth pedal in there, and I apologize. But yeah,
all good.
Gold Stomp Works. It's like I think he's just getting started, but making things that are like really aggressive, but really like thoughtfully tuned.
Thoughtfully aggressive. That's an interesting.
Well, that's the thing. Like, and I really mean it. Yeah, it's like thoughtfully aggressive. Like you can tell it wasn't just sort of like slamming, making really, really high gain circuits, like making really, really aggressive high gain circuits, and then probably spending just like untold hours just like really picking the right values to build the tone stacks out of, and to build the like fine grain controls over presence and things like that.
Very cool. Well, that's a lot to consider, and I love that you gave us a couple new ones. I mean, I'm contacting them as well, so we'll see what happens, and then we'll get. I think we'll try to get Baltimore back on the line too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Talked to them in a long time.
It's been a while.
Well, let's get on with the actual business. We got to see you again out at NAMM this past year. Mm-hmm. Gosh, that seems like a year ago already.
It seems like forever ago. It was just a few months ago. Yeah.
Almost 6 months ago.
Yeah. And how was that experience for you? This was your second year there, or third?
Second time at NAMM.
Second time.
Yeah. It was great. I mean, NAMM, it's loud and it's overstimulating and everything's happening at the same time. But we have a blast. We're still like fresh-eyed and bushy-tailed enough that like the novelty of everything is still really fun. The chance to participate in it and like be a part of that world at all is still really, really thrilling. And it's great. Increasingly,
you're making that part of the world, man. You're not.
We're trying to.
You're not in it. You're not adjacent. You are.
Yeah.
You're making that work.
No, I know. Well, totally. I mean, and I do feel that. No. I'm not saying that we're like some outsiders looking in. No, we've been brought in. I mean, the community. The thing is, like, when I was talking to you guys 2 years ago, I don't think I'd ever been like Cosmodio had never done the thing where you go to like a music gear event and you set up a table and like people demo your stuff. Like, I didn't know any of the other people who like started or work for guitar pedal companies. And in the time since then, now, like, that whole community, that whole world has been so welcoming. And we went from like, having never gone to a show, now it's just our second NAMM. And like, I know it's like a cliche to say, but NAMM is really, you think it's about the gear, but it's actually about the people. But in just this relatively small amount of time, like, we go back and it's almost like summer camp, where we're seeing all of our friends that you only get to see a few times a year because, you know, we all see each other at these events. And yeah, it just took like, it felt like it took no time to, you know, transform from just like going around, like sort of meekly introducing myself to then just like, in a flash later, that's just like showing up to these things and it's all hugs and you know, it's great.
Yeah.
The culture of it is so great. And the interesting thing about NAMM and that whole scene is really just trying to be in many places at once, though. Like, in addition to just being at NAMM, there's also now all of these incredible satellite events like Woodwire Vaults that we mentioned before, or Effector Market. And you're just trying to see, you're trying to see all the people and, you know, see all the new things, but they're sort of spread out across this area, you know, this area in Anaheim. And it's a challenge, but, you know, it's why it's one of the many reasons why I'm very grateful. I have like a small but a really great team of people that work with me at Cosmodio now, and so we roll deep down there, and then we get to divide and conquer, and we kind of can be at multiple places at once. So
cool.
So it's great. So it was great to see you guys down there, and I know some people are like NAMM jaded, but I'm not. We had a blast, and unlike the first time around, I didn't get anthrax. We came back, and everyone was still healthy.
Yeah,
so
This was the first time that hasn't happened, actually.
Yeah,
for us.
Yeah, maybe we've like developed an immunity now.
Possibly,
yeah. So that was rad.
Or maybe it's a NAMM unity.
NAMM unity, yes.
One, that's it.
Yes. Well, and you're right. I mean, people, the slogan, although I think it's changed a little bit, that, you know, it's not about the gear, it's about the dim sum shop just down the street from.
I've almost forgot about that.
So good.
Oh, what was it? The Chubby's dumpling?
Something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh. Anyways, so we had you on, and I do love celebrating these things because, as you know, I mentioned I am on Instagram way too much, but
you're not alone.
But it's in an effort to do exactly what happened.
Keep telling you
when you see something, you're like, wait, what's that? You know, and then, you know, that little clip from with Leo DiCaprio, like, you know, it's like, oh, I've never seen that. Is that new? It is new. We got to talk to him. And we did that with you, and I was just thrilled to get you on the show because your pedal was like super exciting. Since then, you exploded and made a whole bunch of other stuff. So we have a little bit of catching up to do, but I would like you to take that at your own pace. So where would you like to start, Barton?
Oh man. It's been a really busy, it's just been, a really crazy couple of years, probably like some of the happiest years of my life personally. It's just been really, really fun, but very, very just like frenetically busy. So I talked to you guys, and just a few months prior, we had released our first pedal, which is Pet Yeti. And that, you know, gave us something to sort of be our calling card and sort of our flagship. And then I guess I'll just sort of walk through what we've done chronologically. I'll try not to like stay on any one thing too long, but the next thing I released that I was really in the depths of trying to figure out when I was talking to you guys, I remember trying to sort of like poorly explain this. Every pedal has been just like this massive learning journey, and also running a small business, if anyone doesn't know this already, is just like crushingly difficult. And it's just an absolute parade of things that I don't know how to do, that I have to figure out how to do. But yeah, anyway, worked on this pedal called Gravity Well. Gravity Well is a dual pedal. It's a wave folder and a tremolo. And it's kind of this thing that I'd been dreaming of and just didn't quite know the form it was supposed to take. Wave folding is kind of like, the distortion, fuzz, overdrive circuits that we all know and love, but it has this big difference where instead of clipping sound waves and sort of cutting them off, it sends them folding back down in the other direction. And then if you have enough gain, it's going to send them back up and then back down again. And so instead of just adding harmonics, you're adding entire new frequencies that were never there in the original spectrum. And the way I like to describe it, it's kind of like, and the way I was thinking about it at the time, it's like if we lived in a parallel universe where the laws of physics were differently, like this is maybe how vacuum tubes might have worked, but that's not the world we live in. So it's like the Stranger Things underworld of overdrive is this thing, and it has this very alien sound, but it's extremely touch sensitive. And I loved sort of modulating a wave folder by changing the gain with my, the volume knob on my guitar with a volume pedal. And I was like, I know what does that automatically is a tremolo circuit. And so we paired it with a tremolo, which seems like this unlikely combination of this like really wild alien sounding distortion fuzz thing with just like a mellow surfy tremolo. But when you activate them both and you, they sort of fuse together and they become a sort of like first of its kind modulation effect of a modulated wave folder. So this pedal is really the one that put us on the map. And then, there's all these people, talking about the community before and how grateful I am. There's so many people that I feel so indebted to. But some of the folks that I feel really indebted to are Emily Hopkins and her partner Russ, because then we won the Emma for Tremolo of the Year in 2024. And that's what I think made a lot of people really find us. That's what helped us find people to work with, including the distributor that we partner with now to sort of get us in stores around the country and increasingly around the world. And that's when things sort of shortly after Gravity Well launched, it's when I quit my job. Like I was, splitting my time between Cosmodio and other work when I talked to you guys last. And I'm not doing that now, which feels surreal and something just like I'm extremely grateful for and enjoying every moment of just being able to actually do this work all the time. Anyway, that was 2024. And we just like left that year in a completely different place than where we started, which was, making the first pedal and seeing if anyone wanted to buy it. And then since then, we've just been like really, really hard at work. I've built out a wonderful small team. We launched a pedal called Glitch Witch in May or June last year. That's a type of fuzz that we call an auto-modulated logic fuzz. It's this really ripping style of CMOS fuzz, but you can turn on this analog sort of sub-octave generator that will roughly track 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 octaves below what you're playing. And at the point where you're going many, many octaves below what you're playing, and it's going to sort of chop up your signal at that rate, it actually stops being audio rate at all, and it starts being what we perceive as a rhythmic sound. So it ends up being this sort of like glitch, staccato, chop thing, or ring modulation, or however you want to dial it in, that is going to change with every pitch that you play, because every pitch you play is going to have a different rhythm when expressed as an 8th order sub-octave. It sounds really nerdy and cerebral. It's actually just, this one is just... It's actually just fun. It's just like an absolute like roller coaster pedal, and you don't need to think about any of these things. You just turn it on and it sounds wild.
No,
and then
before you I know you're on a roll.
You got me started.
I want to sit here for a second. 2 things. Number 1, you referenced CMOS fuzz a couple times, and just for those that may not be familiar with that, would you mind explaining that a little bit?
Yes, CMOS fuzz CMOS fuzz or logic fuzz.
And it's not CMOS like SEAMOSS, just so everybody knows.
It's CMOS, and that stands for complementary metal oxide semiconductor. That's not important. The point is, it's taking chips that are usually meant to conduct sort of simple binary operations, but they are just made using discrete analog parts. Just they're basically configurations of transistors, and they're really, really fun to use to make really aggressive fuzz sounds. Another type of CMOS circuit that some people will have encountered is the PLL style fuzz or a phase lock loop. We haven't made one, but there's like a really great one from Earthquaker Devices. The Beatronics Swarm is a PLL. There's a new one from Fruit Effects that came out just recently, the Space Cube. There's a bunch of them around, and they're really fun. But yeah, the Glitch Witch style fuzz, I don't know if anyone's made that before. It's its own kind of thing. So yeah, CMOS fuzz. Good nerdy stuff.
And you also referenced the rhythm part, and I think it's worth, you do a really great job of explaining what these insanely complex and insanely audiotic there's a word you can have that pedals that you make that can be very difficult for people to wrap their heads around until you're playing with it, but I think you do a really good job of explaining it on the websites.
Thanks. It takes a lot of practice, and I have been told that I'm not always the best at explaining it succinctly in person in real time. And it takes about 100 attempts at explaining these like wild concepts to people before I come even close to being able to like translate it into human speak.
Well, I think if you would let me indulge for a second here, a high-pitched note which will be modulated more quickly and a low note more slowly. In this way, Glitch Witch evokes the rhythmicon concept, devised by Leon Theremin and Henry Cowell in the 1930s, which illuminates the fluid gradient within the phenomenon we humans perceive distinctly as pitch and rhythm.
What about melody?
That's pretty great. She's not
Thank
invited.
you. I'm glad you brought Rhythmicon up, because I was like, oh, should I talk about Rhythmicon?
Yeah, man, that's cool.
No, like I've been saying too many big words and I have to cut myself off. Yeah, the Rhythmicon.
Is that one of those shows people go to, and it's nothing but rhythms and things? Yeah,
it's a drum
convention.
Oh my god, that's the worst thing ever.
Rhythmicon.
I guess he did. He coined that term before the convention suffix there.
Or did he?
Yes.
Yeah, but no, Rhythmicon. Yeah, if people want to look up a YouTube video of Leon Theremin's Rhythmicon. It's really trippy and it's really cool. We all know him for the theremin, but he invented all these other incredible instruments too.
It's hard to believe he was doing that stuff in the 1930s.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. The sort of innovation that was happening back then, and like, I don't know.
All right,
there's still things to be learned from then. Yeah, and then I won't get into the go crazy deep on everything here, but the last pedal we released, Splinter Twin, was late last year, and that's different for us. That's not really based in distortion or overdrive or fuzz at all, and that's a time-based effect. We call it a time modulator. And the basic insight that I think a lot of listeners will know, but not everyone's aware of this, is that there's a lot of different types of effects that are built using delay lines. Obviously, we have sort of like delay echo effects and slapbacks and things like that. But then as your delay line gets shorter and shorter, you can have sort of doubling effects or chorus effects or flanger effects. And there's really nothing different between a flanger and a chorus and a delay pedal, except just the total amount of delay time. And
you just exploded everybody's head right there.
It's the same thing. And I had just thought it would be really, really cool to try to make one pedal that sort of modelessly moved between those worlds. Like not like a multi-effect where it's like, here's the flanger mode and like, here's the chorus mode, but just one thing where you just have this really, really broad time knob that lets you sort of move from flanger to chorus to delay and find the places in between, and then using feedback and modulation to sort of like you can craft your own chorus sounds. Like you can get like really, really specific to sort of emulate different, whatever your favorite chorus pedal is. But then you can also sort of push beyond like what a reasonable person might describe as a chorus. And you can get it really loose or really tight, or what's in between flanger and chorus. And so the time knob at maximum delay is 340 milliseconds, which is not a very long delay, but enough to get like a great classic echo. And then as you roll it back, as you roll it back, it goes all the way down to exactly zero, like a true double that's perfectly in phase with your dry signal, which also lets you do through zero flanging, which is a pretty rare exotic sound that I won't even try to describe. But if you find a through zero flanger out there, and Splinter Twin is one of them, but there's others, that's a really, really special kind of rare sound. Yeah.
I feel like if you were a pilot and you had a fear of landing, that you would basically, you could just explain all these things while you're landing to take your mind off the landing as sweat's pouring down your face, like in the movie Airplane.
Okay, now we're going to put the gear down.
Splinter Twin time modulators, your sonic familiar, it clones your single.
You guys got me going. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, I love it. Now, I'm going to come back to the website here again real quick because I love this.
Yeah.
The Splinter Twin time modulator is your sonic familiar. Now, for those who don't know what that is, you're going to tell them right now.
By that, I mean, it is your doppelganger. It makes a copy of your instrument, and then it warps that copy in some way, in time or in phase or in its tone, and then it's going to recombine that. And so with Splinter Twin, it's both named partially for this idea of this uncanny feeling of encountering your sort of long lost twin.
That's really
and
cool.
So, yeah, that's the sort of vibey, emotional place that like I was trying to evoke with it.
I see. Now I thought that you were referencing to a familiar in like vampire lore.
In a way, I am. I mean, that's kind of the familiar concept is kind of related, and vampire lore and doppelganger lore have like deep rooted connections.
Yeah.
So in a way, I am sort of trying to evoke that. And like,
but I like what you said better, actually.
Well, it's because it's not, but it's interesting. That pedal to me is like kind of a dark magic pedal. And actually, if you know, for people who have it, rather than a typical manual, we have a grimoire in there. It's a fully illustrated spell book that teaches you the art of mirrorcraft and how to cast different spells, like normal spells like chorus and flanger, as well as like much more advanced spellcraft for doing really, really weird sounds with Splinter Twin. It is, and because like that pedal, the delay line itself is like this high, really high quality digital delay, so that we could get such a broad, flexible range of delay times. It just wouldn't be possible to go like that fast and that slow in the same pedal using bucket brigades or any sort of like analog delay chip. But everything else in the pedal is analog, all the feedback paths and tone shaping. It has a preamp on the way into it too that gets really juicy, inspired by old tape machine preamps. And it sounds, at least to me, like it sounds ghostly. The whole pedal to me is like, it should evoke sort of vampire lore, and a little bit of not fear, but like it is uncanny, and it's a little creepy, guys.
I did really appreciate. I mean, sometimes we have to go outside of the actual like, what is this doing to understand what something does. And I
got to remind myself
that
all the time. I got to just remember I try to explain how things work.
Yeah.
And that's not always the important thing. Like sometimes the important thing is like how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
Or how, I don't know how it's going to make someone else feel, but like how it makes me feel, or what I'm trying to sort of like evoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with Glitch Witch, it's just like frenetic excitement, and we can talk about like sub octaves all day, but it's not really what matters. What matters is this like exciting feeling there. Every single note that you play is coming back at you differently than the note you played before, because it has some sort of interaction, and you don't need to understand. You just need to know like all bets are off, and like strap in. And then with Splinter Twin, it's like, no, you're like walking through like a dark forest, and there is like magic afoot, and you are kind of wielding it, but you don't maybe completely know how, and that's okay. Yeah, there it is. It's coming.
Well, man, I think it's actually, I mean, let me rephrase that. It's not actually. I would have had to walk that back big time. I believe that you hit on something that most people who do have a singular one of these, name any one of those pedals, you pull them apart and you say, gosh, I wish this just could kind of, and you want to like make it do something that you can't oftentimes. Mm-hmm. And I really love the fact that it's like, this is like almost an in-betweener. Everything's in between.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things, and I'm sure I was talking to you guys about this way back when, because it's just one of my core design philosophies, is I think this is what you mean. Like, all the parameters can be pushed like really, really far. There's no sort of like, there's no throttle on any of these things. And I'm not trying to prescribe how you're going to use them. So whatever you would, I think and hope that like whatever you would and many other pedals wish, there's a lot of pedals that I feel like keep me in some sort of safe zone.
Yeah.
And I understand that, and that's fine. Like, and people say things about pedals. It's like, oh yeah, like we tuned it so that like it's always going to sound good and you can't get a bad sound out of it. Yeah. And I always feel like the totally antithesis. Like I always say with Cosmodio, no. There's lots of bad sounds. You're going to get so many bad sounds out of this, because I don't personally claim to know what is good and what is bad sound. Mm-hmm. And I want that to be sort of the artist, and you as the player are going to like be on this journey. And I think it's exciting to have tools that can like, even if you just want normal delay sounds and that's how you want to use Splinter Twin, there's that one time when you turn feedback up too loud and you turn on its multi-delay or multi-tap mode, and like this crazy, whooshing, swirling screams came out at you, and maybe you didn't like that, but like the fact that it can do that you're holding something that can be like that dangerous, mm-hmm. I think it can be exciting and inspiring for people. And I think it's so important. And I say this all the time, and I'm a broken record about it, but like in the history of guitar music and the history of guitar sounds, it's characterized by things being broken and misused. It's characterized by bad sounds. Like those,
yeah.
Vox amps and Shea Stadium were never supposed to break up the way they did. Like that just distorted guitar wasn't supposed to happen. That was a bad sound. That was people misusing things or devices that like were behaving, quote unquote incorrectly,
yeah,
or suboptimally. But then that's the sound that we love. And so I try to create lots of surface area for people to forge new boundaries,
Yeah. Well, I think that a lot of times you look at a pedal and you say, you have to, some people will justify it by how much am I going to use this? Can I use this on all my songs? Can I make my whole sound out of this or something? And certainly there are pedals that we rely on to do that. Mm-hmm. But in a world where you're trying to like stand out or feel unique in your own special way, right? Or just create some moment of unexpected excitement within what you're making. These kinds of pedals are critical to that.
Yeah. And I will say too, that like all of our pedals, they're going to go to these wild places, but they all sort of start and are grounded in familiar territory. Like you can get like, like really nice classic chorus flanger delay sounds out of Splinter Twin. You can use even Glitch Witch, like can be, yeah, it's like
that's what I mean by the
fuzz.
in-between stuff.
Yeah, totally. Like it's like, the gateway drugs or whatever sort of cliche people want to use.
Or a sport.
Yeah, because sometimes it's a spork. Exactly. Like, because I do think, obviously, there's like pedals that do familiar things and they're classics, and that's great. And I use a lot of them too. There's nothing wrong with that. There's also a lot of things that people release, especially in this, in the golden age of boutique pedals. There's some pedals that are really, they're out there and they're only out there and they're doing crazy granular stuff. And I think people, those things are intriguing. And obviously, turns out there's a massive market for that sort of stuff, and that is totally awesome. And I support it. And I love those things too. But those things can be intimidating for some people to get into. And so I'm trying to, like, I don't know, be like the Pied Piper to like bring like some normal conventional players into the like woolly, weird lands of noise music and abstract sound, because like you can do a lot of normal things with Cosmodio pedals, but whenever you're ready, they're ready to like drive you to really crazy places.
Very cool, man. Well,
Yeah.
and you're doing a service that I think is uniquely yours, which that's hard to do in the world.
Yeah. The other thing, first of all, you can just cut me off anytime you need to, but the other thing we've been doing,
That's quite enough. No, I'm just
we started about a year ago, and this has become an unexpected and really cool part of our business, is we have a mod shop now, where we sort of, in the tradition of JHS and Keeley and Analog Man, we now have designed some sort of original modifications to, like aftermarket modifications to some pedals from some of our favorite builders. It sort of started accidentally when, you guys remember the Nada Dumble, that like JHS pedal that came out last spring?
Yeah.
And there was like this whole internet, I mean, there was a whole thing where like, was it the right Dumble circuit? And he designed something he didn't mean to, and then they offloaded them all at once and discontinued it quite swiftly. But we put out a mod for that, to turn it into a dual. It has 2 channels in it, and rather than a channel switch, we sort of turned them into independent channels and make it a stackable dual drive pedal. And I just made that. I thought I was just making that week's like YouTube video. We didn't intend to offer it as a service. But then like the DMs started flowing in, and we had to like scramble to stand up a page to let people buy, and how we would like start doing mods as a service. And then too many people bought it, and we had to shut the page off and start a wait list. And we were just like completely inundated with like boxed Nada Dumbles that people were shipping us to mod. And it was another thing that completely changed our business and like allowed me to grow the team by another person. And
that's awesome, man.
It was crazy. And now a year later, we sort of realized how fun modding pedals is. And so we have a mod for, a couple JHS pedals, as well as a couple Earthquaker pedals right now. We just launched one for plumes. And I think by the time this podcast airs, we have expanded it to be able to mod and have a slightly unique take on Blooms, the bass version as well. And that's been like a game changer for us.
Well, what's the mod for plumes?
Yeah, okay. The mod for plumes is called Lumens, and it does a couple things. Most importantly, we sort of sneak an entire new pedal in there. And so stacked in front of the plumes is an independently switchable sort of, we call it a boost, but it's sort of an opinionated boost. It's like a low to mid gain drive circuit in and of itself, with a ton of volume on it. So you can use it on its own, or you can activate plumes on its own, or you can stack them together to really push plumes much, much harder. And then we also have a low contour switch to let a lot more bass frequencies into the plume circuit. And what we've just added, because we just got so many requests for it after we announced this. This will also have been announced by the time this goes up, but we've added a clean blend as well. So we're going to sort of have like a deluxe version of the mod. So now your plumes will go from, the Earthquaker plumes is a modern classic for a reason. It sounds great. There's nothing wrong with it. It's extremely versatile and expressive on its own. But we're taking this like really great pedal that we love so much and basically turning it into like a multi-channel overdrive workstation that lets it be like really, really multi-dimensional. So that's plumes. And then we're doing basically the same mod to Blooms, but we're tuning the boost a little differently to complement bass more. And rather than a low contour mod, which wouldn't really make a difference on blooms because it's very generous with its low end range anyway, we have sort of a presence modifier to make the sound smoother and more mid-range and sort of punchy for your bass. So, and that'll have the same boost circuit, just tuned differently, and the same clean blend as well. So yeah, we're really trying to transform some of these pedals, and it's been really cool. And it's like, we get to do, to me, like, I love Earthquaker, and like, I look up to Jamie and Julie, and we sort of get to do like an unofficial collab with them when we modify another pedal from another builder.
Yeah.
So it's really, really fun work and a fun way to engage with customers. And in its own way, like now Cosmodio, all these like, harebrained pedals I was trying poorly to describe a few minutes ago, like we do all this weird stuff, but doing these mods is also a way to sort of like connect with established brands, connect with more conventional, familiar circuits, and in that way put ourselves in front of and get to know a different type of player, a player who might not be necessarily in the market for something like Splinter Twin, or at least not know they're in the market for something like Splinter Twin, but really love plumes or love tone benders and dumbles. And things, those sorts of sounds. Yeah.
Okay. I'm making a hard left real quick.
Do it.
When we first talked to you, we always love getting the sort of, for lack of better terms, backstory on a builder or an artist or whatever that might be. That was 2 years ago. And when you first started this, do you remember like what the driving force was? And the second part of that question is, do you feel you've met it? Where are you at with that right now? And how does it feel?
Yeah. The driving force. Yeah. It's such a simple question and it's a hard one, but for a long time, I mean, I'd been obsessed with effects, and I was living abroad from 2015 to 2019, just before COVID, in New Zealand, and had to leave a lot of gear behind and didn't have my rig for sort of building stuff or my soldering iron or anything like that, and found that I really missed it. And at the same time, the sort of boutique pedal movement, or at least that wave of it, exploded, and companies like Chase Bliss and Old Blood Noise and other companies were blossoming. And I just remember, I remember watching those first demo videos with Joel Corti and just being like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, this is the coolest job, or this is just like the coolest thing you could do. I don't know. It just like completely spoke to me. And I'd been always making pedals, and I'd never like thought of doing it for a career. It was like too fun that it surely was impossible or impractical or something. It felt like a rock star dream. And then when I moved back to the States, and there was COVID, and like everything just got so jumbled, and I was just basically searching for, I don't know, with a bunch of life changes, and was trying to settle and try to figure out what to do. And had been musing with the idea of starting a pedal company. And Jesse, who's the Cosmodio social media manager now, was one of my best friends. And I was chatting with him, one of those during those like darkest ages of COVID, when like you can only talk to your friends through Zoom, and telling him I was having this idea, and he was just like, no shit. Like, of course that's what you're supposed to do. It's what you were always supposed to do. Like, we all knew it. I'd been making him and my bandmates and stuff pedals for years. And like, I think just sort of gave me that like one little bit of validation that I needed to be like, okay, it's not like I spoke the dream aloud to somebody and they didn't laugh at me. They think it sounds cool. So I guess I better like try at least once to like live the dream. And that was sort of the motivation. I mean, it's kind of vague, I guess, but it's just, just like a labor of love. Like, it's like what I wanted to do, and just always motivated through experimenting with things and building things. And I'd been a product developer and like building software for many years. And so I felt like at that, and I'd done startups I had done this music tech startup with some of the creators of the Guitar Hero video game that we tried to get a music composition video game off the ground, and a beautiful idea, and had a little traction at first, but didn't ultimately, it's not in the market now. But I had some of these experiences, and I suddenly felt, you know what, I can do this. Like, it's not a ridiculous thing. So then just went for it. And yeah, how it feels now, I really do feel like, well, in a way we've come so far. The analogy that I use a lot, because I know I'm saying these things, and I'm very proud of what we've accomplished. We're still, for anyone listening, to make no mistake, we are still a very small company in this larger market. Like, we have like a tiny market share, and we like are still very new, but we're totally wildly energized by what we're doing. And we've made a lot of progress. And I describe it as like, this feeling if you're just like casually, not like mountaineering, but like hiking, just like regular hiking, but you're hiking up some sort of hill or some sort of like small mountain thing. And you're like wondering when you're going to get to the top, like when you're going to get there and arrive and have done the thing. And you look through the trees, and you're sort of looking up and to the side, and you can see the skyline, and it doesn't look that far. And you're like, oh, I think I see the top. Oh, we're going to be there in like 10 minutes. And then you walk for 10 minutes, and you look up, and like it still looks just as far. And you walk for 10 more minutes, and you look up, and it's just, the top is always far away. Like, and I'm still nowhere near feeling like I've done it in a way that like it's still every day feels like a gift. There's no guarantee that like Cosmodio will continue to exist, years from now. Who knows? Like, it's still all so new and still fundamentally unstable. But when we turn around on the trail and we look down at like the parking lot, we can like see the car on this hike, and like we can see that it's really far away now, and like we've climbed really, really high. And so we've accomplished a lot, and so we've like gained all this altitude. But then I turn around, and like the peak is just as far away as ever. And it's still, I have no idea if or when or how it could even be possible to get there or have the feeling like we've done it. So it's still just like hustle all the time. It's still never taking a moment of it for granted. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm being such a cornball here, but like, it's like living at least for me, it's like a dream come true. It's living the dream completely.
That's awesome. And you completely disregarded all the other hikers screaming, "You're going the wrong way!
Why can't I find it?
The trail's over
there." Wandering through the woods.
But that's the beauty of it, is that you followed that, probably unbeknownst to yourself, that you were going to create a singular voice in the pedal world, and that's amazing.
Well, thanks. I really appreciate that. It's been, just a lot. It's a lot of work, and it does get very obsessive, and I'm sure, it comes through in this like crazy, nerdy, verbose way I talk about this stuff. But like, I think about these things a lot, and I think like, try really hard to like find these concepts, and I'm really motivated by new sounds and new possibilities, Yeah.
Okay. Last question. Just because of what you said, do you remember like maybe the last thing that you were like, I would equate this to like if you're making music or if you have an idea for a new riff or something like that, where you just like go, ooh, 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 and then you go try to do it. What was the last thing that triggered that?
Musically, or like building a pedal?
Building.
Well, first, so building a pedal feels exactly like writing a song, and I have these little sparks of excitement all the time. It's funny because it happened just the other day, this exact thing, and but it's so cool, and I feel like it might be a future release. But here's what I'll say about it: okay. I realized that there was this I was thinking about toys I used to have in the 90s, and the sort of sounds that they would make. And I realized, I was like, there was a chip doing this. There there's a reason why like so many of these toys sounded in this similar way. Like there was some sort of technology that must have been dirt cheap, made into all these just like brightly colored pieces of plastic. And I sought out, I like figured out what this chip was and I sought it out, and I have like a stash of them sitting over on the shelf near me.
That's awesome.
Like playing around with them and being like, how can I pull sounds out of this thing? And I was like, is this a gimmick? Is this a novelty? I'm still not 100% sure. But then like,
they kind of all
like,
are. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah. And then I found some way of just like tying the guitar into it. And suddenly it was like, oh, there's a there. Like, oh, this is actually, this could be really, really cool. So I won't say too much more, and I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. Like the product release, the timeline it takes to like go from concept to release is also just like, it's just a massive effort and takes forever. So this is not like the next Cosmodio release and maybe will never be a thing, but that like playing, I don't know. It's always fun to, you have some idea like to write the song and you like strum a couple notes and you're like, oh, that I played that by accident, but that actually sounded interesting. And then you play it again. And then before you know it, like there's a there, and then you're writing a song.
Yeah.
I also totally feel like there's a lot of pedal concepts, and maybe this is one of them, that like you have that moment and then you try to really develop it or try to really develop that song, but it gets shelved. Like there's like this moment of excitement, but then there's not enough depth, or you can't find the whole form of it to really make it a thing that's going to be worth going and gigging with or releasing as a pedal. But the other thing about that I always think about, it's just like writing a song, or at least for me, writing a song, there's some point of no return where like you're over a hill. Like there's two moments. There's that one moment of inspiration that you're talking about. And then later there's this moment where it's come far enough that like it's real and like this is really going to happen. And whether there's a big audience for it and whether a lot of people buy it or listen to the song, who knows? It's out of your control. But like, no, this is happening. And that's that other feeling that like is a rarer feeling that I get sometimes. And and feels just like writing a song. I think it's a great analogy. I mean, like we're all musicians and it's something we all understand. And these pedals and like, just like music is technical and music is creative, and it's some weird fusion of the two. And it feels a lot like writing and producing a song or a record, a lot of times making a new pedal. Yeah.
Well, and if you're lucky enough to have at least a couple people around you that they're your go-tos when you have that moment, when it comes to you, and to share that with, that's extra special.
Yeah.
Because not everybody understands.
Yeah. No, and that's one of the big things that's changed from last time I was talking to you guys, like to like really like have a great team here, and also to have other people in the community to show things to, and to, I don't know, help like push through like dumb challenges or help learn things. Like it's been really, really important. Been kind of little big deal for us that we're like basically just down the road from EAE, Electronic Audio Experiments. They're also local here. And so those guys, like they're incredible. And John Snyder, who runs that company, and the man's basically a genius. I mean, like he
mentioned on almost every single show
for a reason. He's not only is he brilliant, and not only are they putting out these incredible groundbreaking pedals, but also John, he's just incredibly generous with his time. And so like he's helped. I'm actually heading over there. I'm going to EAE tomorrow. I'm going to show him the thing that I'm working on, and he's going to help me troubleshoot something or help me figure out how to make it better.
Please tell him we said hi.
I absolutely will. And like that, but to your point of like, oh, you get someone to play the song to, like, no, to actually like have folks like John that I can like, I'm making this thing. Like, what do you think of it? Like, help me figure out where to go with it. That's like a completely different place than where I was just getting started, and just kind of, I don't know, just sort of having to trust myself and that I could maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, make something cool.
Well, digitally pinky promise that if and when that happens with the toy chip, that you let us know and come on and tell us about it.
I will. I'm really hopeful that one pans out, because I just think it would be really fun and different for us.
All right. Well, I think we have gleaned an awful lot from you, Barton, and I'm just so thankful for our time. This was an awesome discussion, and we are just thrilled that you're out there doing that. Tony's so thrilled that he's going to cut this off because he needs to move to something else. What do you need, Tony?
You know, Todd.
Would you rather?
That's right. At this point of the show is a little game we play called Would You Rather. So, in the traditional way, you're walking down the street.
Mm-hmm.
And out of the corner of your eye, you see this shadowy figure.
Mm-hmm.
All dressed in black. Long black hair. Long black beard. Kind of like Rasputin.
Rasputin. I was just going to say Rasputin.
Just kind of like Rasputin.
Okay.
And he comes up to you and taps you on the shoulder. And he says, "Hello, I am Stefan, the petal Svengali." Now, for those of you who don't know what a Svengali
I really thought you were going to go with a Peter Lorre kind of...
Rick.
Hide me, Rick. Hide me.
No, it's Stefan.
Okay.
So
Next one.
A Svengali. Yeah, we'll use Peter Lorre next time. So a Svengali is a hypnotist.
Yeah.
A mesmerizer. A mind controller.
Manipulator.
A manipulator.
Yeah.
Yes. So you've become mesmerized with Stefan.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "I am compelling you to buy a custom pedal. It will complete your career as a guitarist."
Okay.
And you just say, "Okay, Stefan, I'm going to go get a pedal." So he leads you to a store.
Mm-hmm.
There's two pedals that you can choose. One is an absolute beautiful work of art. You know, the enclosure, beautiful knobs, customized, all kinds of stuff.
Hand painted.
Hand painted, you love it.
Yeah.
Except it just sounds okay.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is a plain aluminum box with just one switch and one knob.
Oh.
You plug in, and it's like the voice of God. It's perfect in every way. It sounds incredible, but it looks just like an aluminum box.
Mm-hmm.
So which would you rather?
What?
Would you rather? Now, this is the theme of this is, do you hear with your ears or do you hear with your eyes?
Yeah. But you already told us it's the best sounding pedal ever.
Well, but if it's a plain box, maybe you don't want to play it. Maybe after you're out of the spell, it doesn't hold you. It doesn't make you want to play.
Oh, so you're momentarily in the spell.
You're momentarily mesmerized.
Okay, so you don't actually know that you heard the voice of God box.
That's correct.
Okay, see how I
You
got you
snapped
out of
out
that,
of it.
Tony?
Thank you, Todd.
Jeez.
Todd.
Okay,
Todd,
thank
Todd,
goodness.
Todd.
Whew. I thought we were going to have to make a choice based on what you just said, and that would be ridiculous.
Thank you. Thank you for that added dimension. So, would you rather have the beautiful work of art? You can't.
Again, not knowing
What it sounds like. Or would you rather have the possibilities of a plain aluminum box with just a single switch and a single knob?
Okay.
I feel like this is like the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He's trying to choose
Pick
the cup.
the right chalice.
Does he choose the really shiny golden cup or the humble clay carpenter's cup?
Yes.
I
very
thought you were
good.
going to say the end of the segment because I don't know.
or the end of the podcast.
Well, if this is what this is amounting to, I'm done.
This is garbage, I tell you.
Yes, they've fallen from great heights. Okay.
And crashed into
All right, Tony, go ahead.
I'm a sucker for a nice paint job.
Yeah, me too.
And it's a shame that I was broken from under the Stefan spell, and I can't remember what it sounded like. So, in my unbelievable stupidity, I'm going to choose the pretty package.
Okay.
I'm going to
That
hear.
makes absolute sense.
I'm going to hear with my eyes.
Okay. All right. How about you, Barton?
Yeah, I mean, I like this question a lot, actually, because I'm a firm believer in one of the Cosmodio like whole design principles is we try to make really beautiful pedals, and all our pedals are covered in artwork, and like that's important. And I think that instruments, they're beautiful objects, harps and saxophones and jazz masters and like all these things. They're beautiful. That inspires us and informs how we use things. So I do really think it's not nothing when something looks beautiful. But I think the most important thing is that it has character. So is the plain box, is it like because I love a pedal that's like I've got this fuzz pedal sitting over here that's like this thing that someone just like crudely spray painted, and it's just like a box with no writing on it, and it just looks gross. Like I like something gross, but if it's just plain, if it's just like a plain powder coated in a
a carpenter's pedal, if you will.
I mean, it's the carpenter's pedal. That's character. If it's the voice of God, I mean, I got to take it. But like, yeah, I guess, hey, I'll back you up. I mean, try to make beautiful things. If I can't remember what they sound like, no, it's got to be beautiful.
Okay.
Let's go with the good looking pedal. Yeah.
All right. Todd.
Okay. Well, I do really appreciate, we've gotten into this conversation because Jared, like, is completely nonplussed by anything that how anything looks.
I don't care what he looks like. I care what he sounds like.
Yeah, that's why he buys purple, sparkling gold guitars. But anyways, for me, I'm going down the path, and this is where I thought you're grabbing my thunder here. I like the idea of a box amongst all the beauty ones that would have either like maybe it's like a wedge or something, some kind of like nonconformist box, right? So let's, because you didn't give it, so I'm imagining that it's
so you're
like
thinking outside of the box.
The boxes, yeah. I also believe that this is probably going to have some interesting hardware on it, because that's why it's grabbed my attention. So, not having heard it, but it still has my attention.
Well, you did hear it, but you forgot about it.
Right. But so I've snapped out of it, but it still has my attention. Mm-hmm. That it has some kind of like really cool, funky, industrial kind of giant knob on it or something like that. Mm-hmm. Think like, R2R or something like that. What's up, Chris?
It's a more knob.
Yes. Something that is like, well, I mean, if you're gonna have one knob, that's the one. Then I do actually believe that I would probably be drawn to that.
You chose wisely.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because maybe I don't know how to play very well, so it doesn't really matter.
But imagine how surprised you'll be.
Yes.
When you sound like
Yes.
that. Yes.
But I don't want to sound like Eric Johnson.
Or Clapton.
Yes. Anyways, that was a pretty good one, Tony.
Made you think, didn't
it? Yes.
Made you think.
And back around.
And I do think it was appropriate because of who we're talking to, because your enclosures are
they're beautiful. They are beautiful.
My God.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Obviously, just so much thought and effort goes into making those, and it's definitely appreciated by this guy.
Right on.
Okay, we need to thank a few people, and then we're going to tell our friend Barton au revoir.
Yes, indeed. At this point of the show, there's a special group of people we love to thank. These are our executive producers. Now, an executive producer helps make this show possible. How do you become one? Shoot over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple different levels in which you can participate. Become a sponsor, a friend, a hero of the podcast. Each level comes with some very nice thank you gifts and opportunities to win great stuff and help us join and celebrate our 10th anniversary and 500th episode, all that stuff. But in addition to all that, there's one thing more, I'm told. What would that be?
You get to have your name read on the thing.
You get to have your name read on the thing. You're getting so good with those buttons. Mm-hmm. No mistakes this week.
I got a manual.
A manual. Very good. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So special thanks to these executive producers. Anthony Lathrop, Brett Hogarth, Cameron Pampas, Darren Gregory, Don Kloss, Elad Mizrahi, James Bell, James White, John Esterle from Airbuzzer Effects, John Sebastian, John Halverson, Justin Jones, Ken Sayers, Michael Senchuk, Mike Davenport, Owen Eads, Pluton, Ralph Gottschalk from Wonderful Audio Technology, Richard Kendall, Rick Calhoun, Rusty Sneeden, Stefan Lamb, Tom Barazin, Trevor Ellenberg, Trevor Gunberg, Vader and Pedals, Caribou Gone, Ed Rossler, Uday Ram, Andrew Fryette, and Bob Claymeyer.
Yes. We got the real pronunciation.
The official pronunciation. But Todd, there's more. Because there's a special group.
He's like 75 years old, man. That's so cool.
Oh,
I mean, he's definitely, I believe, our oldest member. And the fact that he's like, yeah, I'm in on this.
Well, that's cool.
That's awesome.
Thanks for supporting us, Bob.
Yeah.
And he's relatively local, too, I'm told.
Yeah.
So, in addition to this special group of executive producers, we have another special group. These are our grand poobahs. These are the creme de la creme, the top of the heap, the A number ones, and they wear a fez on their head whilst listening to this podcast. So special thanks to these grand poobahs. Anthony Gemalero, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, Bob Crouch, Brian Robison, Cody Foster, David Kaminga, David Tyndall, Enrico Fernando, Fox Hill Studio, Gregory Randall, Hex Matos, John Williams, Martin Cliff, Matt Hart, Michael Van Zant, Michio Murakishi, Moon Guitars, Pedro Vasquez, Sam Jett, Steve Keys, James Pennington, Zach Oswald from Brandon Wound Pickups, Jonathan Labate from M2 Labs, and Ty Barnes, James Castellano, and how could we forget Kenny House? Oh, and new this week, hot off the presses, Michael Coward. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, he's a grand poobah now.
That's the section.
Yep, fantastic. Thank you so much, Michael. We'll be sending you out some information, find out more about you, get to know you, that we'll hopefully be able to share and all that good stuff.
Getting to know you.
Yes.
Getting to know all about you.
All right. Well, we need to say maybe an even bigger thanks.
I agree.
To our friend Barton McGuire for A, making really, really, really cool stuff, and B, sharing your valuable time with us, all of us, and our audience out there.
It's my pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me on the show. It's a blast.
Hey, and say hi to Cosmo for us, would you?
I will. I will give him a pet for you guys.
That'd be nice.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Now, where can people go buy these amazing pedals of yours?
Yeah, our website is cosmo.io, and like I said, a bunch of stores around. Hopefully one in your area has them. Our retailers can be found on our website too. So go and check it out. Oh, and I will say one other place we go to events, but if you are in the Boston area, on August 29th, we are co-hosting Stompbox Sonic 17, which is this wonderful annual event held by this great retailer here, Stompbox Sonic. A bunch of great brands and builders will be there, so you can come by and try pedals and meet the people who make them. We're going to have some performances. Jamie and Julie from Earthquake are going to be there and give a presentation. There's other musicians performing, and so it's going to be like a really, really good time. So the more details about that will be coming out soon. And if you are, and if you're a builder and you are interested in participating, then please find me and reach out as well.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Tony, where
Yes?
can people get the things that you make and all that good stuff?
Head over to pickguardian.com and check out the stuff I do. What do? I make pick guards for guitars, mostly for Todd these days. All the pick guards I make are for Todd.
might be true.
So how do you get one? Well, you shoot me an email. You let me know what you need, what you're trying to do, what pickups you're using, what guitar you have, all the stuff. Give me the facts. I'll make something special for you. As Todd likes to say, It's your opportunity to make your guitar even more yours.
Yes, y'all. All right, you can shoot me a DM on Instagram at Guitar Knobs, and we'd love to hear from you. Tell us what you think, what you like, what you don't like. Throw rocks at Tony, make fun of me, do whatever you want. Tell us what you had for breakfast. I don't care. We just want to connect with you people, okay? Also, we're desperately in need of Would You Rathers.
You think? You think?
So, hey, we've had 500 of them, so it's like, well, almost. Anyways, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy that you've been listening, and you add so much to our guitar world and life, and we're grateful for you. Have a fantastic week. Be cool to each other. Subscribe! Barton McGuire's on the line. Hey, if you got pedals, use Tour Gear Designs patch pedals. I can say it.
Patch pedals?
TourGearDesigns.com patch
Spit it out.
Start this over. This is crazy. My boop boop boops still count.
Your boops count.
I don't know. It feels like
You don't like Super Unknown.
Yeah. I'm kind of the early Soundgarden.
Yeah.
I got to meet them actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Was it in a garden?
It was in Hollywood. I sat on a curb for a very long time, meet and greet, and then got VIP to the after show thing.
Wow.
Which I promptly lost in the pit. The little wristband. I was like, no. Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, dude. How are you?
We are doing excellent. I say we as in me. It's just
As
me
in,
here.
yes,
Oh,
we.
Damn it. He should show up.
Oh, Todd, you can't get rid of me now. Reminds me of Sesame Street. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay. Barton?
I'm with you.
Okay.
Still
thanks.
here.
I appreciate that. Oh.
You big doofus.
Oh, that's right. I thought you were talking about Albert, like the king.
Prince Albert in the can.
Yes, the prince. The prince. Anyways, Barton, you still there?
I'm here.
See what-
Yeah.
Tony,
Yeah.
are you coherent?
Oh,
Did you take your medication?
I took my pills, Todd.
Okay. Barton McGuire's feeling fine. Yeah. And away we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.